Lighting is very interesting. Well, we'll see what happens. I don't know why this one I had plugged in so that it was all charged up. And how did it become uncharged in 10 seconds? How is that possible? Come on, Pierre. I guess if that is plugged in, don't like that light. Oh well, we'll figure out how this is going to work. I don't like this red. Let me turn that off. Maybe that looks okay. I'm going to be interviewed by, this is the mosquito buzzing around your head routine. Why did this just stop? Anyway, what I'm trying to do is figure out how to illuminate myself for this interview I'm having. And I may have to just turn on a light over there so the room is a little bit more full. We'll do some. I look good and I sound good. Thank you so much, Levin Wolf, for your feedback. I may also be showing objects, which I guess I can do. I can hold things up if I need to hold things up, and they look okay. I know my interlocutor will be much more well lit because he has a big open room with lots of lighting, natural light and artificial light. I have what can best be described as a man cave, and part of its charm, I keep telling myself, is how dark and gloomy it looks, how cozy it looks. And I think it's kind of fun. Where I'm sitting right here is not usually where I sit. There's usually a little, the chair is here, but above the chair is a table where I put my cup of coffee in the morning and where I put my iPad if I'm watching a vintage TV show or a vintage movie, and I sit my butt right there on the couch and look at this thing behind me, which is this amazing assemblage of debris, we can call it, and it's really a lot of fun and to look at for me to look at. And but if I sat on my couch having the camera pointing that way, it's not as interesting a drop, and I don't think as true to who I am and what my house looks like. So there's that. But I may have to plug in a light there that sort of aims this way. Finally, buy some of my dream pens. Friend of the family who works in the US and brings the pens I bought to me. Oh, that's good. So where are you in the real world, Levin? From Germany. The young student. Did you come on a live stream with me once? I know there was one student from Germany who did, and we chatted for a half hour or so. It was a long time ago. You were too shy. Well, I remain shy. I was shy as a kid. I'm still kind of shy now because it's a attribute that I think is very hard to get rid of. But I've learned that I don't care anymore. I'm too old to care. Yeah, the internet is an issue that can plague a nice broadcast or conversation that's live. It's tiresome. Many of the people that follow me never see my face either, so that's part of a shyness thing where if you have your camera pointing down at your desk and you're drawing or writing with your pens, they never see your face. They hear your voice and they do that, but it gives you an ability to be anonymous, and you don't have to use your real name either. You could make up a name and make up a country where you're from, and no one will know that it's you. So that often helps. I think the whole thing about the internet and chat rooms and things like that was very helpful with me in learning how to communicate with people, because if you said a stupid thing or insulted someone by accident or even on purpose, they couldn't find you. I guess that's all changed now. Everyone knows who everyone is, and when I insult people on purpose or by accident, they know where I live. So I try not to insult anyone on purpose unless they deserve it. So, Levin, what are you studying in Germany? And while you're typing the answer to that question, the idea of these days of sending pens overseas out of the country for me is the cost of postage plus the added cost of duty that you have to pay to receive a package from another country. And it's not that I want to keep your company from getting revenue that it might need. It's just that the costs of selling a pen overseas and the trauma of doing it is It's not fun for me. It's not fun for the buyer. I sold $1,000 worth of pens, and these pens were, most of them were under $100. So there were 10 pens, let's say. I sent 10 pens to Denmark, no, the Netherlands, Brussels, Belgium. Where did I send them to? Anyway, one of those countries, Belgium, I think. And the box made it from the United States to England in a couple of days. I tracked it, and then it made it to Belgium, and it stayed in the customs thing for a month before the guy got noticed that it was there, and he said, well, you have to put a tracking on it. And I said, well, it left my country. Once it's in someone else's hands, it's not, the United States Post Office has nothing to do with what happens in London or Brussels. So I couldn't do anything about it. And, you know, he knew that, but he was sad and upset, and he spent $1,000 for pens. I already had the money. I already spent the money. So it was unfortunate that, you know, he was on tenterhooks waiting for this package to arrive, which eventually did arrive. And then he had to, on top of paying me, he had to pay some number of $100 or whatever they have, 100 euros, to get the pens out of the customs office. So what you're doing by buying pens in the United States, having them shipped or whatever to someone, a friend of yours who's going to be visiting you, or has some easier way of sending things to you, that's a really smart idea. Whether it's going to be possible, given our president's isolationism, which is what he's essentially doing these days by interfering with free trade, and also now threatening to ban international students from attending a university that he doesn't like, is going to cause all sorts of trauma. So where can we meet to hand over the pens? What neutral country is there anymore? Oh, that's great. I'm reading the things you just sent. I don't want to show that due to work. That would be great. Probably woodcarver. Cool. You might enjoy one of the things I'm going to be showing today in this video is some of the pens I like, and one of them was a Parker 51, and a friend of mine who's an artist collects what is referred to as tramp art. It was something that was made during the Depression in the United States, where itinerant workers, tramps, hobos, would do work for a meal, or they would create little tiny objects for a meal. And one of the things they did was take old cigar boxes and carve them into beautiful frames or little boxes. And so my friend made a little box for me in the tramp art style. So here's a box for a pen. Here's the handle. You slide the box off, and there inside you have room for a pen, a single pen. there's a piece of this, or two little tiny pieces of this, that one tiny piece that broke off. I don't know where it is, but it's supposed to be right there. I accidentally knocked it off the table that it was on. Dear. Oh, I see this part of the slider broke as well. Anyway, the thing was in pieces. I tried to put most of it back together, but it's a lovely little wooden carved box. Yeah, Tramp Art is, I do have a couple of frames that were done by Tramp Art, including what is called a Crown of Thorns frame. And I have about 5 of them on a pile over there. Let me get one for you, just to show you. I'll be right back. If you hear a big boom and a big crash, it means I've fallen down, and you can call the Somerville Police Department, an ambulance, to come and get me. But I'll be right back. If I can stand up. Yeah. Kitty, kitty, I know, I'm here to show someone something. Oh. Be right with you. Coming, moving my way. Now, navigating my house should be a Olympic sport, and we'll just see who gets to be the gold medal. And here is a Crown of Thorns frame. So it's a round frame that you might put a mirror in, and it's all interconnected. There's no glue or nails holding it. It's just someone had carved hundreds, if not thousands, hundreds, I suspect, in this particular one. There's some of these frames that are quite big, and you put them together like those little wooden puzzles somehow, and you'll come up with a beautiful frame like this. And these are called Crown of Thorns frames for obvious reasons. Well, obvious reasons. This one is not the right size. I imagine those Romans crucified little children too. So might have fit them. Artists, books, poems, whatever, calligraphy and history, your way of describing things. Few people thinking, I do, I don't misunderstand you at all, and I think far too few pen collectors connect with their pens in as an emotional way, or as, I don't know if that's the right word, psychological way. I don't know if that's the right word either, but there's lots of ways where I connect with the pen and how the pen is used and how the pen feels in the hand. And yes, what the pen looks like, all of these things are important or can be appreciated. Even how the pen smells is a consideration. And hard rubber smells different than plastic. And some people don't like the smell of hard rubber. It's not a smell I would like to smell every day, but it's you have to put it up to your nose to smell it. It's not something that you can smell from a block away, like some perfumes, or cigarette smoke or pipe tobacco or something like that. It's not that strong, but it's a lovely addition to how you connect with a pen. In terms of my art and the art that I create, my first, and I think in many ways my most important art influence was Saul Steinberg. My parents had a book, hardcover book of his that was published in the 50s called The Art of Living. And his cartoon style, which most people know only through his covers of the New Yorker magazine, is amazing. And unlike the New Yorker magazine, most of his early drawings were black and white. And almost all the images he drew were line drawings. Sometimes he'd use watercolor and other things, but most of them were just simple line drawings. And he would draw with a flexible nibbed dip pen, and he used the pen at every speed level from 10 miles an hour to 150 miles an hour. Thick and thin lines and just beautiful drawings. Let me just find a book. Okay, I found it. I found one. Oh, I found what I was looking for. Oh, no. Yes. I had a little display up in my studio for Open Studios showing my artistic influences. And I like to think of myself as the love child of these two people, Saul Steinberg and Elbrecht Dürer. So we know Elbrecht Dürer and his amazing woodcuts. I don't know if any of this is in focus, but we know certainly Elbrecht Dürer, or we should. And Saul Steinberg, on the other hand, he's known in the United States, but maybe not so much elsewhere. And he's from Czechoslovakia or Yugoslavia, I forget, one or the other. Hungary, maybe, I forget. And his drawings are very cartoon-like, but the line work that he does. Here's the drawing he did of a train station, and anyway, let me use this one. This is a book of his called. Oh, this was a show that he had in New York City, where they had his drawings on display. This is the most famous drawing that we know. You see posters of this all the time. This is the cover of the New Yorker. And it's called New Yorker's View of the World. So you have, you know, the 9th Avenue, 10th Avenue, New Jersey, in the distance, California, Nevada, Reno, and then way in the distance you have Siberia and Japan. And it's amazing. Another, trying to find one. Here's this a very funny one. It's a couple in bed, presumably making whoopee, but I don't know. And you have the bed and this wild calligraphic line and a beautiful circular line made of a bunch of little faint compass lines made with a compass. So that's one individual. That's the other one, and they're making whoopee. And here's another one where he fills up the page. These are sort of cloud studies. These are the clouds. The land is below with the horizontal lines, and there's all these clouds going on above it. And so he's my favorite, I think. You know, help me. What's going on here? You feel too important. Some people find my voice very calming, and they say, "Oh, I love falling asleep to your YouTube videos." Oh, am I that boring? Yes, that's very true. But I also generally am have a voice that's relatively relaxing, I think, for many people. I tend to listen to. There's a couple of people I listen to fall asleep. One is this. What's his real name? His YouTube channel is called Astrum, and he talks about astronomy and galaxies and planets and exploration, and he's a very calming voice. Another, I like listening to some history documentaries or lectures, and when they don't have the documentaries don't have the whooshing sounds between, hate that, between one scene and another. Whoosh, whoosh. It's like an airplane just crashing on top of your house. It just drives me crazy. Maybe it's supposed to keep you up. Certainly keeps me up. But When I listen to some documentaries, the dialogue that I'm hearing enters into my dreams. So my long dead mother and long dead father were having an argument, and I'm overhearing it, and my mother is screaming at my father's talking, plate tectonics, that's subduction, god damn it, Wells. And then he would come back with, some other plate tectonic term to rebut her argument. I made that story up. Not that my parents didn't argue, they argued without using geology terminology. But in my dreams, the dialogue that comes from the YouTube video I'm watching ends up being the dialogue of the characters in my dreams. Generally, it's the characters in the dreams. It's not the action of the dreams. There isn't any subduction going on in my dreams. There might just be talk of subduction. For my golf is beside tennis. I don't know what that refers to. Sometimes when I'm talking and my brain is going in 10 different directions and people are typing and they're adding things, I've forgotten what I've said and what we were talking about and what question I may have asked you. So I don't know what is it things you listen to, golf tournaments or tennis tournaments? That maybe that's what you're referring to. They are very polite sports, we'll say. There's not the grind and pulverization that you see in other sports, and the crowds that are watching tend to be polite and quiet, and maybe clap at the end of a hole or whatever however you play golf. They might do some oohs and ahs, I'm sure, at tennis when someone makes a particularly amazing move, or in golf when they hit a ball and it goes in a good location, they'll do an ooh and an ah. But it's not the screaming for blood that you seem to get when you have football fans at each other's throat. This apple is this was something I found in our building. In our building we have a exchange area where people can bring down books and pots and pans and art supplies that if you want them, you can take them. And this little apple was among the debris one day, and I grabbed it. So this is this thing behind me sort of looks like a tree. On this base, I strapped a bunch of upside down tripods, camera tripods. And so it looks kind of like a tree. It has one base, but it goes out. And then on top of connecting to one tripod, I've attached a couple of other tripods. So furthest up the floor, there's lots of things that I can attach stuff to, like an apple. So this is my tree of knowledge behind me. I also have on the top of many of the tripod legs, upside down tripod legs, I have some of my collection of fezzes. This one does not fit very well, but and what I like about these fezzes, and I probably have 60 of them, are the lovely lettering and this sort of faux Egyptian symbolism that they use. And sometimes the letters are sequins and they sparkle. I don't know if you can see the sequins sparkling. Divan, it says. So when I'm on my divan, I can wear this one. I also have one that's my ex-boyfriend gave me called Past Boston Priestess, and it was from the woman's version of the Shriners. They were called the Eastern Star people. Sorry, I misclicked. Elephant tennis puts me to sleep. These arrogant, pretentious dudes who hit a ball and try to find it and go out again. You know, Levin, I love you. Can I propose to you right now? I describe people that go to the gym. They go to the gym and they lift a really big heavy thing and they put it back where they found it. And then they do it again. You know, if you're going to do some physical work, why don't you build a wall or plant a garden, plant a tree, dig a hole, plant a tree. This lifting up a big heavy thing and putting it right back down again is seems like a waste of energy. So, of course, the well-built beefcake who's watching this can find me. I'm the only Pierre Gustafson on the planet. He can knock at my door and give me a punch in the face if he wants to with his big muscles. And I hope he doesn't do that. But I once had a model, a male model that I drew, and I said, my God, you don't have an ounce of fat on you and you've got lots of muscles. And I said, you must go to the gym every day. And he said he'd never been in a gym in his life. But he was I think, a luggage handler at Logan Airport here in Boston. So he lifted big, heavy things, put them somewhere else. And then he lifted up another big, heavy thing and put them somewhere else and got paid for it on top of it. So that I felt was a more logical way of getting muscles than going to a gym. Now, I know many people that go to a gym, they sit at their desk at the accounting firm or the bank or the aircraft controller place, and they're sitting on their ever-expanding ass all day long. So they don't have time to go to the Logan Airport and work an 8-hour day there. So they go to the gym once a day or once every other day or whatever it is and work out for an hour or however long they do that. And it allows them to have their ever-expanding butt be a little less expanding, and that might be good in the long run for them. Oh, Tina, my cat is now rushing to greet my three-quarter roommate who she loves better than she loves me. Yeah, I listen to audiobooks all the time too, Levin. I There's one that I enjoyed listening to, and it was a list of all the crimes in London or in the London area, um, in maybe 100 years time span, and it was written, I think, in the 1700s, 1800s maybe, and it was just really, really interesting to hear about the crimes and to hear about the trials. The trials lasted maybe 20 minutes at the most. And then 9 times out of 10, they were found guilty and they were hanged or put in chains or deported, transported to Australia or wherever they were, or thrown in jail again for another 20 years for stealing a cow or whatever they did. I think stealing anything was, you were hanged for that. Um, and the Chronicles of Crime, I think it's called. And but I listened to that, and it was just fascinating, the words that he used. The author didn't use criminal all the time. He would use miscreant or this unfortunate creature, or he'd come up with various terminology to describe the poor chump in jail. Chronicles of Crime. I think that's what it's called. Let me just look it up. Caromcles of Crime book. Chronicles of Crime. I have to add an S. I did. Um, 2 Centuries of Crime and Murder. The Chronicles of Crime, or the New Newgate Calendar, being a series of memories and memoirs and anecdotes of notorious characters. So that's what I listened to. The Chronicles of Crime, Volume 1 by Camden Pelham. So I listened to that, and it's fascinating. So Chronicles of Crime. So Levin, another thing I'd like to do with you someday, I have to get ready for my my close-up because my actual interview is going to be at 9 o'clock. But I have this guest book that someone gave me, and it has the beautiful different handwritings from 1900 to 1950s. And what I do with the empty pages in the back, I ask people that watch me, I say, well, if you were having a dinner party, what 6 or 8 people would you like to have at your dinner party? And they can be living or dead, and they all speak the same language in our particular dinner party. You don't have to worry about a German and a French person at the table together. Well, you might have to, but you don't have to. They could speak. They all speak Esperanto. We'll put it that way. Everyone speaks Esperanto. So you're one of the guests, and you have either 5 other people to think of or 7 other people to think of who you would invite to have a dinner party where you'd have fun listening to the conversations. So we'll play that game next time. Anyway, Levin, send me an email. I'd love to see that work that you do. My email is piergustafsonstudio@gmail.com. You can search for me. My website was taken down yesterday because I didn't pay my bill. So I just paid my bill this morning. So my website might be working now. Let's just find out. piergustafson.com. It's still not working. Cannot be found. Hopefully it'll be found by tomorrow. I should have paid.
There's nothing to read.
I didn't ask you to read anything. Damn it. I have to remember to not swear on my interview. The guy that's talking to me is Hemingway Jones, and he does pen reviews, and he can edit out my expletives deleted. He can delete my expletives if he wants to, if I make any. Hopefully, most of my expletives deleted are when I'm trying to find something and I can't, or if while I'm trying to find something I fall over or break something or something comes crashing down behind me. And I think everything that I need for my interview with him will be within arm's reach, and I don't have to find anything. So anyway, Levin, it was really nice meeting you. Oh, hi, Russell. Russell Facemeyer is an amazing artist and a really nice friend. And I've met him only once, but we've known each other since before COVID. And we connect on many levels of humor and disposition and art. And I look forward, Russell, to having you join me again on our live things here. So anyway, I'm going to sign off here and just get ready for my interview with Hemingway Jones. And I was struggling with his name because he has a real name. Hemingway Jones is his stage name. And I just want to see if he sent me a text or anything yet. He hasn't. Oh, maybe he has. No, he hasn't. So anyway, I'll see you. Absolutely, I'll watch out for his interview. I don't know when he's going to get around to editing it, because he wants me to supply. Normally, as you know, Russell, I don't show my face. I have the camera aiming down, and he felt for this interview it would look funny with his face talking to my desk top or my right hand rather than talking to my face. So, but he will splice into the video bits and pieces of me writing. So that'll be, it's a lot of work for him, but this is what he does all the time with his videos. He edits them and adds music and switches from the camera aiming at his head to the camera aiming at his pens. So he knows how to do that. I could learn how to do that, but I I don't have time. I would never finish anything. I would just pick at it. I can edit a drawing, but I could never figure out how to edit a film. So I like this part of my little display here, this little bouncing. This is like a pendulum and a grandfather clock. It's just in the background. You see it move. Right behind. Here. I also am wearing a shirt. Hemingway Jones likes sweaters, so I thought I would wear a shirt that shirt company that I admire and have a number of examples of. I will also move this thing back a little bit, or move my chair a little bit further away, because I think we need more space between the top of my head and the bottom of my lower chin. As usual, I have my device hanging by a thread here, so God damn it. The shirt and the pen. Yeah, I think it's kind of fun. Well, I'll have to figure out, I might have to get some tape here to make it all work. And I think I can push everything back a foot. So if we need more space without me leaning too far back, I can do that. Anyway, we'll see you all later. Russell, nice meeting you. Levin, nice meeting you. Russell, I proposed marriage to Levin. You just never said yes. So I asked Levin, but I don't think he hasn't said yes yet. So until someone does, you still have a chance, Russell, to say yes. See ya.